Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope everyone is doing well and survived the beginning of a new work week. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm happy to be on my mat tonight. It was a very Monday-ish Monday. So thank you all for joining us tonight. So this class kicks off a regular Monday night 6 p.m. live stream that we'll be doing throughout the fall and winter months, just to offer some options for everybody. You can tune in on Mondays, or you can take the class later in the week whenever it fits your schedule. So look forward to this class happening every week, whether we have an in-person class or not. We'll always have this live stream for you. So I'm happy to kick us back off into some live stream fun for the fall. So if you're new to yoga and beer or new to taking class with me, my name's Jaime. The name of the game with these classes is just doing things that feel good and kind of leaving everything that doesn't. So option number one is always adult nap time. So if you just want to grab a pillow or a blanket, lay on your mat, have a beverage, you can do your thing. I can't see you, so I don't know if you're doing things or not, and that's totally fine. So that's always option one. If you're needing more of a workout that I'm just not giving you, feel free to modify or add on. You can plank or chair pose to your heart's content. Just making sure that whatever you're doing is serving you in the moment, and kind of recharging you to get through the rest of your evening or the rest of the week. So with that, we're going to get started laying down flat on our backs. And we're going to get started in a little different shape tonight than just laying flat. So as you settle down to the mat, we're going to plant the feet on your mat and take them to the wide edges of the mat here, and then just allow the knees to drop in towards each other so that they're kind of supporting each other in the middle, a little release for the low back. And then once you have the legs settled, we're going to start to reach the hands up towards the sky. And maybe you play a little bit with reaching a little longer through one side, a little longer through the other, reaching equally through both. And then we're just going to start to wrap the arms into a hug. So we're going to bring the right arm closest to the face, just allowing the hands to drape over the shoulders or maybe wrap around, and just start to settle in here. So as you kind of ease into this shape, making sure that the elbows are pressing away from the chin or the face, so they're resting more towards the chest here, and that the legs feel supported in the shape that they're in. You can adjust the feet in a way that makes sense to you. And then just start to let everything really settle down into the mat. Maybe allowing the eyes to close. Just bringing a little awareness to the breath, how it's moving on its own through the body here. Recognizing if it feels really easy in this breath or if it feels like a little bit of extra work. And then just starting to bring a little more intention to this breath. Inhaling fully, filling up the chest and the belly with air. And then exhaling fully, letting all of that air back out. And just spending some time settling into the stillness. With each inhale and exhale, maybe pressing those tasks or to-do lists or things that you've been carrying through the day, just slowly, gently pushing them all away. And if you have the arms wrapped here, really easy, gently, just reaching them back up towards the sky. And then we're just going to wrap them the other way. So left arm will be closest to the face. Taking some time to settle back in here. Again, making sure that the elbows are pressing towards the chest. And just settling right back into that easy breath. For this practice tonight, we're going to kind of slow things down, do a little bit more repetitive movement. So really just allowing our focus to be the breath moving in and out, feeling the body connect, feet to the ground, hands to the ground, whatever we're doing, just feeling really rooted in the shapes that you're in. Taking them at a pace that allows you to really focus on how it feels in the body, how the breath is continuing to move. We're going to spend a few more moments here in this stillness, giving some time for a focus or intention start to settle. And if you saw our post today, you saw that our monthly mantra for October is slowing down. So with fall comes kind of a new routine, a new season. For me, that means that I kind of get back into a simpler routine. Even in my practices, I've been moving slower to feel more connected to body and breath. So if that's something that calls to you, feels like a good focus tonight, just allowing that to settle. Or taking time for any other intention that you might have for your practice this evening. We'll start to gently unwrap those arms, reaching them back up towards the sky here, and then just taking them back behind you, getting really long. We're going to let the feet come out as well. So getting super long through the body, flexing those feet, pointing the toes, maybe rolling into the ankles and the wrists, finding that nice long stretch here. And then we're going to start to hug knees in towards the chest. Just taking a moment, maybe you find that little sway side to side, rolling out the spine. We're going to move hands over to that right knee, hugging it in towards the chest. That left foot can plant on the mat if that's comfy and feels good, or maybe you take that leg all the way out. Just making sure that it stays easy wherever you're at. Shoulders and head are relaxed here. We're going to start to find a little movement in the hip. So you can draw little circles with that knee, maybe doing little figure eights, just any little movements to kind of wake up that hip joint. See how things feel. If you've been sitting at a desk or doing work today, this might feel good to just kind of work out the hips, all those places that get kind of stuck throughout the day. And then we're going to start to bring that knee back to center. And then just gently find a little movement side to side. So maybe that knee comes out towards the right, bringing it through the center over to the left. And these movements can be really small and easy. You don't have to come into that super open shape or that deep twist. But just taking your time with each breath, finding a little side to side movement here. And you can keep this movement happening. If you want to find that twist shape, the next time that that leg comes across the body towards the left, maybe you settle in a little bit more deeply. That right arm can come out to the side. You can support that right knee with the left hand if it's not quite meeting the ground or feeling like it's comfortable where it's at. One more big breath wherever you're at. We'll bring that knee right back to center, hugging it in towards the chest, bringing that left knee in as well. We're going to take the hands over to the left. Same option here. Maybe that right foot plants, or maybe you bring it all the way long. Pausing here for a moment, feeling settled in this shape. And then we're going to start to find that little bit of movement in the left hip. So maybe you draw little circles, little figure eights. Recognizing that each side of the body is a little different. So this side might have a little bit more or less movement than the other, and that's okay. Just meeting your hip where it's at. We're going to bring it right back to center. We're going to start to find that side to side movement. So that knee will come out towards the left any amount, and then through the center, maybe over towards the right. Again, taking it nice and slow, keeping the movement small if that's what's comfortable. And then if you want that deep twist, the next time that that knee comes over towards the right, maybe you pause. Maybe that left arm reaches out to the side. You can keep movement in the body here if that twist isn't feeling quite right. One more breath wherever you're at. And we'll bring it right back to center. Hugging both the knees in towards the chest here. Finding that little sway side to side. And then we'll start to find a forward and back rocking. We're going to come all the way up into a nice comfy seat. Settling in here, making sure sit bones are pressing down into the mat. We're going to take a nice big reach, hands to the sky. Pressing the palms together, hands to heart center. 2 more times, just like that. Inhale, nice big reach. Bringing the hands down to the heart. One more time, inhale to lift. Hands to heart. We're going to take that nice big reach, hands to the sky here. Sit bones are pressing down into the mat. Fingertips are reaching up through the whole body, finding that nice long spine. We're going to keep that length here. Sit bones press back as we start to tilt forward any amount. And then just hands are going to settle down to the ground. So we want to keep that length happening through the spine, through the crown of the head. Hips are pressing back. And we're going to pop up onto our fingertips, finding our little cupcake hands. So just creating little protective umbrellas for our imaginary cupcakes that are under our hands tonight. Feeling that openness through the back, through the upper part of the heart. We're going to start to think nice and long, reaching forward with those fingertips, coming all the way back up, hands to the sky. Hands are going to come to heart. Heart presses up towards the thumbs. We're going to tilt back a little here. Feet are going to come out in front. Just a cute little hello to our boat pose. And then we're just going to cross the legs the other way. Settle back down into that seat. Might feel a little weird. Just finding the version that makes sense. Inhale, nice big reach here. Again, reaching really long through the fingertips, keeping that length as you start to fold forward. Same thing, hands are going to come down to the mat. Maybe you pop up onto those little fingertip cupcake umbrellas. If you're happy here, just staying here, finding that length, pressing the hips back. You have the option to walk the hands over towards the right, any amount. Pressing that left hip back in space as you do. So really lengthening through the whole side body here. Breathing a little extra space into the side with each breath. And then we're going to walk those hands back through the center, all the way over to the left. We'll bring it right back to center. Getting really long, reaching through the fingertips as we come all the way back up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to make our way over into our table. Taking a moment to get set up, wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips. We're going to take a couple rounds of our cat-cow here. So inhale, drops the belly, lifts the heart. Exhale, rounding the back, pressing away. Moving through these shapes a few times with your breath. Pausing when you need to pause. Adding extra movement where it makes sense. We'll do 2 more rounds of this cat-cow here. Really feeling the sensations that happen in each part of the body as you move through these shapes. Then we're going to start to settle back into our table, finding that nice long spine here, crown of the head reaching forward. We're going to put a few pieces together. So we're still moving through our cat-cow, but we're going to add in a few extra shapes here. So with our inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the heart. We're going to start to tuck the toes. As we exhale, hips are going to press up and back, settling into that down dog. And then rolling forward, knees are going to come back down as we start to round into that cat. And then pressing hips back into a child's pose. You don't have to come all the way down. You can stay up. The hips can stay lifted a little here. So we're going to move through that little bit of flow a few times here. Inhaling forward, finding that cow shape. Taking the hips up and back. Rolling forward, settling back into that table as you round the back. And then hips press back to child's pose. Moving through this 2 more times, feeling that connection with your breath as you settle into that cow. Finding down dog. Making our way back to table. Cat shape back into our child's pose. One more time, just you moving with your breath. Feeling each sensation in the body as you move through the shapes. We'll all settle back into our child's pose. This time settling in nice and deep, pausing here for a couple breaths. This is always a good kind of home base or space to come back to as you need. We're going to roll right back forward. Tucking the toes, lifting hips, settling into this down dog this time. Maybe you bend into the knees, walking it out. Any little movements that make sense. We'll start to put a nice deep bend into the knees, looking forward between the hands, walking the feet to hands or hands to feet, coming into that forward fold. Keeping a bend in the knees, slowly rolling all the way up. Head is the last thing to stack. Nice big reach, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to flow through a few shapes here. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Hands are going to slide up the shins, halfway lift. Folding forward. Inhale, reaches all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll move through that one more time. Inhale to find that lift. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Inhale, reaches all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll start to add on a little bit here. Inhale, nice big reach. Finding that fold. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Right foot's going to stay, left foot steps back. Getting the feet set as you come all the way up into that high lunge. Hands are going to come down around the foot. Any way it makes sense, we're stepping it back, down dog. Staying for a breath. If it makes sense, left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Reaching up, hands to the sky. Hands come down around the foot. We're just going to step that back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Folding forward. Inhale, reaches all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to move through that flow a few times here, just alternating the legs. So I really want you to focus on finding that connection with breath and movement as we work through these shapes. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. This time the right foot's going to step back, settling into that high lunge shape for a breath. Hands are going to come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. If it makes sense, right foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward, coming on up. Hands come down around that foot, stepping that back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Folding forward. Inhale, reaches up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll move through that again here. Same thing, just switching the legs. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Right foot stays, left foot steps back. Reaching up into that high lunge. Hands come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. If it makes sense, left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Reaching up, hands to the sky. Hands come down around that foot, stepping that back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Folding forward. Inhale, reaches up. Hands to heart. Last round here. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Left foot stays, right foot steps back. Reaching up into that lunge. Hands come down around the foot, making your way back, down dog. Right foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Coming up into that high lunge. Hands come down around the foot, stepping that back foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Folding forward. Reaching up, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll start to mix it up a little here. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Right foot's gonna stay, left foot steps back. We're gonna drop that back knee, keeping the hands nice and low or touching the ground here. So maybe you're up on those cupcake umbrella fingertips. Maybe hands are planted. We're gonna find just a little shift in the hips. So heart's gonna pull forward as you settle those hips down. And then shifting back a little rounding of the back, that cat shape here. We're gonna move through that a couple times. So inhale finds that heart pressing forward, settling into the hips. And then finding that roundness in the back, scissoring the legs together. One more time. Starting to settle into that kind of neutral, even space between those two shapes here. That left hand's gonna stay down on the ground. Right arm's gonna start to reach up towards the sky. Pausing here for a moment. We're gonna start to bend that elbow, pulling that elbow back towards the waist. And then reaching it right back up and maybe forward any amount. So we're gonna move through that a couple times, bending that elbow, that half cactus arm, pulling it back, reaching it forward. 2 more just like that. Last one, pulling that elbow back, maybe reaching that arm nice and long forward. That hand's gonna come all the way down outside that foot, lifting that back knee, we're stepping it back, down dog. We're gonna roll forward into our plank. Pausing for a moment, knees can always drop here. Feeling that length through the body, feeling that little hug in, belly button to spine. We're all gonna drop the knees. Heart pulls forward, elbows bend straight back as we lower. Untucking those toes, big shrug of the shoulders, finding that baby cobra. So for all of our vinyasas tonight, we're gonna keep it nice and low, keep it really easy. So maybe the hands press down and pull back to find that lift. Maybe you float the hands or pop up onto the fingertips here. We'll roll right back down. Pressing back to our table, tucking toes, lifting hips, down dog. Settling in for a breath. If it makes sense, left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward, dropping that back knee. Again, we're keeping the hands nice and low here. We're gonna find that little shift and movement back and forth. So as you inhale, heart pulls forward, Hips might dip a little here. And then exhale, finds a little puff in that upper part of the back. Legs are scissoring towards each other. Moving through this a couple times with your breath. Last time here, heart pulls forward. Rounding that upper part of the back. We're going to start to settle into that kind of neutral space between the two. Right hand's going to stay down on the floor. Left hand's going to start to reach up towards the sky. Pausing here for a moment. We're going to start to bend that elbow, pulling it back towards the waist, and then reaching it back up, or maybe you start to reach it forward. We'll do that a couple times here. Elbow bends to pull back, reaching it forward. One more time, just like that. Feeling this movement deep in the shoulder blade, reaching nice and long. Hand's going to come down around that front foot, lifting that back knee, stepping it back, down dog. Pausing for a breath. We're going to roll forward to that plank. Knees can stay lifted or you can drop them. Heart pulls forward, elbows bend straight back. Untucking toes. Finding that baby cobra here. Again, keeping it easy, keeping it nice and simple on the back. Rolling right back down. You can press back to table, press it back to down dog. Nice deep bend to the knees, looking forward between the hands, walking or hopping forward, forward fold. Inhale, we're coming all the way up. Nice big reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to bring hands down at our sides here. So palms are facing forward. Heart is lifting up towards the sky. Maybe allowing the eyes to close or the gaze to drift to the floor. Settling in for just a couple breaths here. Checking back in with the body. Checking back in with the breath or your intention or focus for your practice. The eyes are closed. We'll start to blink them open. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. Left foot's going to stay, right foot steps back. We're going to plant that back heel, coming on up, warrior one. Settling in for a breath here, feeling grounded through the feet, making sure that front knee is stacked over the ankle, pressing actively through that back leg. We're going to inhale, straighten that front knee, finding that bend. Inhale to lift. This time as we bend the knee, we're going to bend those elbows, finding that cactus arm shape. Moving through this a couple times. Inhale to lift. Finding that bend. One more time here. Reaching up. Bending the knee and the elbows. We're going to start to find a little lean forward, keeping the arms in that cactus arm shape here. Maybe you pop up onto those back toes. Feeling like you could launch or lift up off your mat, but keeping everything really grounded, just keeping it active in this shape. One more breath. Hands are going to come down around that foot, stepping it back, down dog. This round you have 5 breaths, your choice. If you want to move through that vinyasa, you can. You can find that plank, lower back bend, just inviting you to keep the back bend nice and easy, keeping things simple. Always the option to skip that vinyasa, come into table or child's pose. Whatever you're choosing, we're gonna all come to meet in that down dog shape here. If it makes sense, right foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward, planting that back heel, coming on up, warrior one. Settling in again, checking in with the feet, checking in with the legs. And just doing the work to feel really grounded and rooted through the lower body here. So that knee is stacked over the ankle. This back leg is pressing actively out. And then just making sure that those ribs are hugged in. So a lot of times we get in this shape, we can get a little sassy and fillet everything out. So just try to kind of hug everything in, feel really long through the spine. We're gonna inhale, straighten that front knee. Find that bend. Inhale to lift. This time as we bend the knee, elbows will pull apart, finding that cactus arm shape. Inhale to lift. Finding that bend. 2 more times just like that. One more. Keeping that front knee bent, keeping the arms in this cactus arm shape, we're gonna start to just find that little tilt forward. So sometimes when we find this forward movement in this shape, we tend to kind of round in. So see if you can keep those arms pressing up and out, keeping that openness through the chest. Maybe you pop up onto those back toes, feeling that sensation or that intention of maybe flying, but keeping everything grounded. We'll bring those hands down around the foot. We're just gonna step that back foot forward, forward fold. Taking a nice deep bend to the knees here. Maybe you grab opposite elbows, letting everything hang out here. We'll release the elbows. With our inhale, reaching up, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, just bringing hands down at your sides, palms facing forward, hearts lifting up. Maybe the eyes close here, the gaze drifts to the floor. We'll start to blink those eyes open. Hands are gonna come back to the heart, so pressing the palms together. We're gonna start to shift weight into that right foot. Left knee is coming up. So maybe you reach down and hug that knee in. You can grab the thigh, grab onto the yoga pants. Anything that makes sense, feels really solid for you here. Same shape we were in on our back, just a little added challenge, standing on one leg. If you have a hold of that knee, we'll just gently let it go, keeping that knee lifted. We're gonna take it out to the side, our little beer yogi, Captain Morgan moment. And then we're bringing that foot down into our tree pose. So maybe that's a kickstand with toes on the ground. Maybe you bring that foot to calf or all the way up to the thigh. And I want everyone to just settle in to this shape with hands at heart. So feeling heart pressing up towards the thumbs, lengthening through the whole body here. Hugging that hip, that right hip in towards the center to lengthen through that whole standing leg. Crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. Giving yourself a little space and grace to fall out and find it again. If you're good here, just stay for these last couple breaths. If you want to grow some branches, maybe you reach those hands up to the sky. If you get there and you just think, no thanks, you can bring it right back in. Hands are lifted, bringing them back to heart center. We'll bring that knee back forward, both feet on the ground. Hands will come down at our sides, settling back into that stillness, that little moment of quiet, feeling rooted through the feet, both feet connected to the ground. We'll start to blink those eyes open. Hands are going to come back to the heart. Starting to shift weight into that left foot this time. Right knee is coming up. Pausing for a moment. Maybe you reach down and grab that knee and hug it in. Hold the back of the thigh. Grab onto yoga pants. Or you can keep hands at heart. You get to choose how high this knee is. This foot can still be down on the ground as an option. It's Monday, so we're keeping it easy, keeping it chill. We'll start to take that knee out to the side, and then we're coming into this tree pose on the other side. So maybe you kickstand, maybe you put it on the calf. If you want to bring it up to the thigh, that's an option. So just choosing the version that still has some ease to it. And we're all going to keep hands at heart for these first few moments of breath. So thinking length through the whole body, hugging that left hip in towards the center. If you want to grow those branches, these last couple breaths, that's an option. We'll all bring hands right back to the heart, bringing that knee back forward, both feet on the ground. Inhale, nice big reach, folding forward. Halfway lift, folding forward. Right foot's gonna stay, left foot steps back, planting that back heel, coming on up, warrior one. Settling in for a breath here. And then we're just gonna open it up into our warrior two. So taking a moment to get set in the feet, front heel, back arch alignment, arms are reaching nice and long. If you feel like your shoulders are living up by your ears, just see if you can settle them down a little bit, a little release in the upper part of the body here. We're gonna inhale, straighten that front knee, arms reach up. Warrior two. One more time, inhale to lift. Warrior two. Flipping that front palm, finding our reverse. Coming forward, forearm to thigh. That left arm can reach straight up, or maybe you start to reach it forward. Bringing it back, warrior two. Inhale to lift. Warrior two. One more time, reaching up. Warrior two. Flipping that front palm, finding our reverse. Coming forward, forearm to thigh, extended side angle. You have the option to stay here if this feels good, or maybe you start to reach that right arm inside that right foot any amount and play with straightening that leg, settling into a triangle shape. If you get there and it's just not for you, bring it right back here. One more breath wherever you're at. Bringing it right back up, warrior two. Hands are going to come to heart. We're going to turn those toes to the left edge of the mat here. Making sure feet are parallel. Hands are going to come to the hips. And we're just finding that fold forward. Once you're there, hands can come down to the mat. Maybe you reach fingertips to the legs here, or you bend into one knee and then the other. You choose what you need. And we'll start to bring hands back straight down from the face, bringing those hands to hips, slowly rising all the way up. Turning those right toes to face the front, warrior two. Hands are going to come down around the foot, stepping it back, down dog. 5 breaths, your choice. Moving through that vinyasa if you want it. Maybe settling into table or child's pose. Maybe if you have a beverage, it's time for a cute little sip of whatever you've got by your mat tonight. Just choosing what you need in these moments of breath, whether it's stillness or movement. We'll come to meet in our down dog. We're going to send that left foot up and back, stepping it all the way forward, planting that back heel, coming on up, warrior one. Pausing for a breath. And then we're going to open it up, warrior two. Again, taking a moment to settle in here. So if you feel those shoulders creeping, I don't know about the rest of you, but my shoulders like to live up here. So it's always good to remind them to settle down a little bit. Checking in with the legs, making sure the foundation feels solid here. Inhale, straightens that front knee, arms reach up. Warrior two. Inhale to lift. Warrior two. Flipping that front palm, finding our reverse. Coming forward, forearm to thigh. That top arm can reach straight up, or maybe you start to reach it forward. Bringing it back, warrior two. Inhale to lift. Warrior two. One more time, reaching up. Settling back into that. Flipping that front hand, finding that reverse shape. Coming forward, forearm to thigh. So you have the option to stay here in this extended side angle if you're happy, if it's comfortable. Maybe you start to take that left hand down inside the leg, playing with straightening that front knee. Again, if you get there, it's not happy, just get out of it. If that top arm is feeling heavy or tired, you can always tuck it down along the arm or the body, just keeping that heart twisting forward. We'll start to bring it right back up, warrior two. Hands are going to come to heart. We're going to turn those toes again, paralleling the feet. Hands will come to hips, and we're finding that fold forward one more time here. Same options, maybe hands come straight down, reaching them through the legs. We'll start to bring the hands directly down underneath the shoulders, just finding a little halfway lift. Crown of the head's reaching forward. Folding back forward. We're going to plant that right hand in the center, reaching that left arm up towards the sky. Bringing it right back down. Switching sides. Left hand plants as that right arm reaches up. Bringing it right back down. One more time, halfway lift. Folding forward. Hands are going to come to hips as we bring it all the way back up. Turning those left toes to face the front, warrior two. Hands are going to come down around the foot. We're going to step that foot back. If you want to move through one more vinyasa here, you can. We're all going to settle into child's pose when you're ready. Taking the knees nice and wide. Hips are pressing all the way back. And just settling in for a couple breaths here. If the forehead is not coming down to the mat, you can always stack the arms to create a little cushion here, or stacking the fists on top of each other. Just allowing this shape to be easy and comfortable for these next couple breaths. And then we'll just gently start to press back up. Hands are walking back towards the knees or the hips, coming down to our bum. And we're just gonna bend the knees, plant the feet, and then make our way all the way down onto our back. If you wanna crunch your way there, you can, or you can plop, either option here. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. We're gonna move hands over to that right knee, hugging it in. Again, left foot can plant, or you can reach it nice and long. We've been here before. Pausing here for a moment, making sure the head and the neck are relaxed and easy. We're gonna leave the left hand on that right knee. Right arm's gonna come out to the sides. You can take it nice and long. You can find that cactus arm shape. And then we're just pulling that knee across the body, any amount. Settling into our twist here. Again, option, maybe you use that left hand to support the knee. You can place that right foot on the inside of that left thigh. You choose what this twist looks like, how it feels in the body. We'll just gently start to bring it right back to center, hugging that knee in towards the chest. We're gonna move hands to the back of that right thigh. You can start to press that foot up towards the sky. If you need to bend that left knee for a little ease here, you can. Just pausing in this shape for a moment, keeping it gentle. We'll start to bend into that knee, hugging it in, bringing the left knee in as well. Hands will move over to that left knee. Right foot can plant, or you can reach it nice and long here. Pausing in this shape. We're going to leave the right hand on that knee. Left arm will come out to the side. And we're going to start to settle into that twist. Same options on this side. Maybe you put that foot on the inner right thigh, or you use this left hand to support the leg. Breathing any extra space into the side body here. We'll gently start to bring it back to center, hugging that left knee in. Hands will move to the back of that left thigh as you press that foot up towards the sky. Same options, that right leg can stay long, or you can put a bend in that knee, planting that foot. We'll start to bend into that left knee, hugging it in. We're just going to bring it down to meet the other. So both feet are going to be planted. We're going to take them to the outer edges of the mat, allowing those knees to drop in towards each other. So coming back to the shape that we began our practice with. Settling in here for a moment. We'll start to reach those fingertips up towards the sky, maybe reaching a little longer through one and then the other, reaching long through both, lifting those shoulders up off the ground. And then we're going to start to find that hug or wrap of the arm. So right arm will be closest to the face. Maybe those hands wrap around the shoulders or on the forearms. Elbows and arms are pressing towards the chest here. And just allowing yourself to settle back into the shape that we began our practice with. So feeling the full length of the spine pressing down into the mat. Feeling that little release of the low back. A little moment of self-love or self-care with this tiny, tiny little hug moment. And just starting to settle back into an easy and comfortable rhythm of breath. So much so that you don't have to think about it or force it. It's just a natural movement of inhale and exhale in the body. Allowing things to slow back down and settle back into stillness. We'll start to unwrap those arms, reaching them back up towards the sky, pausing there for a moment. And then we'll wrap them again, this time left arm on top. Maybe those hands settle around the shoulders, maybe they settle on the forearms, but just keeping elbows and arms away from the neck and the face, settling down towards the chest. And allowing everything to kind of melt back into the shape, into your mat. Maybe spending some time revisiting or thinking back on that intention or focus that you set for your practice, whatever it was that you were needing for your Monday evening. Just looking back to see if you were able to honor that need, honor that space that you set aside for yourself tonight. If you're comfortable and happy where you're at, you're welcome to stay. If you want to take a more open position for our final moments of class tonight, you can start to release those arms, just bringing them down at your sides. You can leave the legs how they are. Maybe you reach them nice and long, taking up that kind of queen size bed to yourself shape. Taking as much time as you need to get into that final position or pose. And then just allowing everything to settle right back in to that stillness. settling back into that ease and comfort of this practice, this moment that you set aside for yourself to recharge or slow things down, get back into a rhythm or routine. Just allowing everything to melt into the mat, into this space for these last few moments of practice. Just slowly starting to bring your awareness back to the space, allowing the inhales and exhales to deepen, maybe a gentle sway of the head side to side, small movements in fingers and toes. And staying here for as long as you need to, taking your time to kind of come back into the evening, into your space. If you're ready, you can gently make your way into a nice, comfortable seat. We'll bring palm to palm in front of the heart here. I want to thank you all so much for taking some time to find some movement, find some breath with me this evening. It's definitely what I needed tonight. So I'm grateful that you were here and shared this space in your home with me. The light within me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Awesome. Well, thank you all again so much for joining me tonight for this live stream, sharing a little Monday cozy slow-mo vibes. Again, just a couple quick announcements. So this is our first of many Monday night live streams. So you can join us 6 p.m. every Monday on our YouTube channel. So we'll just be rotating through a few teachers, welcoming you into their living rooms and sharing some yoga each Monday. We are doing some more in-person classes through the fall and the winter at some large locations. So places that give us lots and plenty of space to kind of spread out. Masks are required for those indoor classes, but it's been lovely. We were at Yola last week, and it was a really wonderful time to still be able to gather together. So hopefully you can join us for some of those. As always, donations are greatly appreciated. Information for that can be found on the webpage or in the information for the class. So anything that you can give, we're very grateful for. So, but thank you again for just sharing space with me, kicking off the work week with a little yoga tonight. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Catherine. So good to see both here. Yay! We're definitely happy to offer the Monday night classes as an option, and then you can always go back and enjoy some yoga midweek if you need a little pick me up. So again, thanks all so much. We'll see you all soon. Cheers.